Hey everyone, this is Zach, and let's talk about it. So Pokemon has released updated information about the 2025 season. The only thing we have left in 2024 is Worlds, which if you made it, you made it. And I hope you did, because next year it's going to be harder. It kind of stinks. For just clarity and reference, I last year 2024 I had my best season with 43 points. I don't have a lot of time and extra expenditures to go to a lot of regionals, and this new change kind of hurts players like me who maybe wanted to make a push or wanted to do well in a lot of tournaments and try. It makes it a little bit harder. Let's talk about it. And if you guys enjoy this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the changes in the comments down below. So basically, they're talking about how they are changing the system. They're still going to run on championship points. I really wish they would rename it, because of the abbreviation. It's not fun to say. But they're making changes to the point structure, and the big news is that instead of there being a bar that you have to reach a requirement of your own achievement, you are now competing against everyone. So for VGC, there is going to be 75 spots for North America. There's going to be 75 spots for Europe, 50 spots for Latin America, 20 spots for the Oceania region, and then Middle East and South Africa don't even qualify. So if you're a player in that region, that stinks for you. And they are making changes to the best finish limits and kickers and all that stuff. But this is really what it comes down to: the fact that you are no longer have to compete against yourself and your own results. What you have to do is you have to compete against everyone else all the time. And that stinks for a lot of reasons that we'll go into after we talk about the rest of the changes. The next up is Premier Challenges and Mid-Season Showdowns are now going to be League Challenges and League Cups. They basically don't change. There are going to be less points for the challenges, and there is less for both, I believe. I believe both used to be 6, or it might have just been challenges, but now it's down to 4. So the max that you can earn is 260. So the max that you can earn from League Challenges and League Cups, that's if you place first and 4 of each, is 260. For the global challenges, the online tournaments, they brought it down a little. It was 200, but they brought it down to 170. But the one good thing about this is that you get points up until like the thousands, and there is usually at least 2,000 people playing. So basically, if you're in the top 50%, or if you're in the top 1,000, you're guaranteed points. At least some. And this is really good, because before, like, this spot was 5. It was like 5, 10, and then like 20. So they did increase the bottom tiering of points, but these global challenges, if you've played one, you know they're best of one. They're closed team sheet. It's basically like jumping on the ladder. So it's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of craziness, and it's very stressful because you don't know what you're dealing with. Where with the league and the challenges and the cups, you have the open team sheets, the same rules that we've always had, you know? And 13 points, why are you giving an odd number of points? 13 is just weird. But yeah, it seems like the player thing is, for the cups, are the same points as Mid-Season Showdown, I believe. And the only thing I would have to say is that, like, the kicker is 0 for 1. But I think with the rules, they're supposed to cancel it if you have less than 4 players. But it seems like if the kicker is 0, would they be allowed to run a cup and a challenge with like just one participant or just like two participants? And second place only gets points if there's more than four. I mean, that would be better for those smaller areas, because I've been to a I've been to a 3-person premier challenge where we had to call one person over. It's like, hey, can you come play? Like, so lowering these makes it harder to gain points through your locals, which some people are okay with. Some people like me, where most of my play is going to be these league cups and these league challenges when I have time to go to them. That stinks. Now, when we look at the championship events, this is going to be your regionals, your special events, and your international tournaments. The max is 6. So this is where you're going to be expected to get the bulk of your points from. With the internationals, the same BFL is 6, but there's only 3 of them. There's only Latin America, European, and NAIC North America. And the points on there have increased like crazy. So I think the international win before was like 500 or something like that, or 400. And the regional win was like 200. So like big bumps to the CP earnings for the regionals and specials and internationals. But once again, like you're competing against everyone. So you need like every little bit that you can get. Where before, and most VGC events will hit this 257 to 512 number. So actually, no. It will hit the kicker of like 513 usually. But most of the time it's like slightly under. It's like 480 or 490, something like that. So you're usually going to see this 275 kicker number where it's the top 128. And of course, like for an international, getting top 128 and getting 150 points is like great. But when you think of the people, all these people ahead of you that you're competing with, getting this much more points than you, like that's a big bummer. The VGC event names, that's what I said about before, where mid-season showdowns and premier challenges are now league cups and league challenges, which it's just a name change. The points lowered for challenges are like premier challenges, but whatever. Booster packs and cash prizing. A lot of people are a little bummed about this because it's very weird how they worded it and how they displayed it. Booster packs. You get more booster packs now, it seems. For VGC people, if you don't like pulling cards, like if you're just into the video game content, this is whatever. I've heard that most people, if they don't like the cards, they just sell them to like a vendor before they leave. Your best bet is, if you're not someone that opens up the cards, your best bet is if you win these to just keep them sealed and let them sit in a closet for 5 years and then sell them. But that's a bummer. I wish they had some kind of prizing for VGC. And they talk about the cash prizing and how they're remaining the same values. But here's the thing. If we look down at VGC for the regionals, for examples, it was 7,000. It was more, I thought. So I've heard mixed reactions to this. How some people said that they said that the money stayed the same, but then like some money dropped down. And then a lot, like something that a lot of people bring up is like, if you get top, oh, that's TCG. Never mind. Okay, when we look at VGC here with the prizing, regionals 6,000, yada yada yada. International championships 15,000. And then the worlds. Here's the thing though. International challenge, if you get top 32, you get $2,000. Not too bad. If you get top 32 in the world championship, you get nothing. So that doesn't make sense. I feel like at least keep the prize levels the same, where in an international challenge, if top 32 is making money at an IC, top 32 should definitely be making money at Worlds. Like even if it stayed the same, even if top 32 still like walked away with like $2,000, like that would make things a lot better. And I've heard some people say, I'm not sure about it. I believe regionals was like 7,000 before this and it's 6,000 now. Maybe it changed, maybe it didn't, but the text before said it would stay the same, so I've never won money. So International Challenge travel rewards. I've heard some people say that they brought the travel reward payment down, but once again, the big thing here is the priority registration. So you would have to assume that, like, I'm pretty sure 1 through 8th already got, because they were getting travel awards, they already got priority registration because they were receiving travel awards as well. But 9th through 16th get priority registration. So those really, like, those ICs, which are now so big on championship points, that are so much more important because you're competing with everyone, not just trying to achieve a benchmark. Now, if you are trying to get higher in your rating and you're top 32, say you're top 40, top 50, you can get locked out because you have to compete where these people get priority registration. Which I get it. Like, if you're running an event, if you're running a high skill event like an international challenge, you want the best people to be able to participate. But when it comes to the point where, like, these people are all competing against each other at all times now, this kind of sucks for the people who are lower, right? Because, like, say you miss registration and you don't get in, and you fall even behind even more because all these points here, as something as like just doing decent at the event will net you 150 points, which is the equivalent of like being at like more than doing top 32 at a regional. There's just more at stake here. And so, like, I do see the benefits of the priority registration, but I do also see how this could hurt a lot of people who are trying to get into these spots. One positive thing is they're adjusting the Swiss tournament format, where you will make Swiss based on your match points. So anyone, like I said, we usually hit this 257 to 512 number at VGC regionals. So we're going to play a total of 10 rounds. So there'll be less rounds day 2, but the way that they're doing it, like, you have more of a chance. So you are going to play 8 rounds and you are going to need 18 points to make day 2. So you need to win 6 games. You need to go 6-2. At that point, you'll play 2 additional rounds of Swiss, and after those 2 additional rounds, they will have top 8, right? But here's the thing. Before, you played 5 or 6 rounds of Swiss day 2, and then you did top 8. And there were people who, like, 8 through 16, they were the same record. They were 10-2 or whatever, or 11-3. They were all 11-3, but those other people under 8th place got bubbled out because of their opponent's win percentage, which stinks because you're being punished because the people you played did bad, or didn't do as well as you. I wouldn't say bad if it's like day 2, but now with the new way that it's structured, you're going to play 2 rounds of Swiss, and then anyone who is matching the 8th place. So say that 8th place for top 8 is 11-2 or something like. Would it be 11-2? Could be 11-2, could be 10-2. If you have the same record as the 8th place person, up to like 32 players, you're in top cut. So this gives more people a chance to be in top cut. This means less people bubbling out after day 2, which I think is really beneficial for those people who got like knocked off the chopping block because of a percentage that they had no control over, in all honesty. It seems like they said that they're lowering the amount of rounds you play to deal with fatigue and stuff. And if you are in that 32 here, you're going to be playing like the top cut anyway. So you're still going to be playing like those rounds that you would, but instead of you grinding through day 2 and then getting to top 8, like you're in a tournament style structure. So it seems like they're going to have a max of 32. There's going to be a max of a 32 top cut. So if we look at like the prizing for that, like regional, so you're what? If there's top 32, you're a win away from winning $750. Not that it matters. You're 2 wins away from getting an extra booster box. And most importantly, you're 1 win away from an extra 25 points, 35 points. So that top 32, those top 32 people have a chance to drastically earn more points, where before, like, oh, I didn't make top 8, I'm locked into one of these 2 CP brackets. Oh, now, oh, I got top 32, I'm in top cut, I have a chance to win this still. Which I think giving more people the opportunity and the chance to win regional tournaments and international tournaments is really good, because it's a lot more forgiving based on your like record and stuff. And the last positive thing is more online tournaments are coming in the 2025 season, giving players more opportunities to make progress towards earning an invitation to the Pokemon World Championship. There's going to be more online ICs, which is good and bad, because it's good because it gives more people like me that don't have time to travel, don't have money to travel, more chances to earn championship points, right? There is still like a 3 max, so it's going to take your 3 top things. But if I'm preparing for an online tournament every month, like that's going to be tedious. That's going to be a pain in the butt. And if you've ever done a global challenge, like they're stressful. They really are. But I like that there's more coming, and the fact that they increased the CP for them. So let's go back to that. Global challenges, you have a max of 3, and getting in the top 1,000 is going to net you 20 points. So getting in the top 1,000 is going to be the same as winning a league challenge. If you're lucky and you get into the top 300, you might walk away with 50 points. That's going to be the equivalent of like winning a cup. So these are going to get a lot more sweatier. These are going to get a lot more harder. There's going to be people that really grind them out. And I do like the fact that there's going to be more, because it's going to be more for me to do. And then we got some of the regionals. There's Baltimore for the US. There is Kentucky for the US. Sacramento for the US. And then Toronto, Canada. So this list of tournaments basically takes us to the end of the year, which, I mean, I hope I can go to one. Baltimore and Kentucky are within like a driving for me, so that makes it more realistic. I have to plan, I have to save, I have to figure out if I can do it. The international challenges, once again, is at New Orleans, which a lot of people figured. I figured as soon as like they announced the venue change, I was like, it's going to be in New Orleans for the next 3 to 4 years, because usually when you get these big convention centers, you have to sign a multi-year contract, because they don't want you to just like come 1 year and then leave. They want to guarantee a certain amount of money. So I figured it was going to be in New Orleans. But yeah, that's the changes. And so let's talk about some of the negatives. Some CP drops for like challenges and stuff, some BFL drops for challenges and cups. Those are whatever. They do matter, but not as big as the fact that there is only going to be so many invitations given out. And for the North America, it's going to be the top 75 players. So if you're not in that top 75, you're not in Worlds. You don't make it, which hurts a lot of people. People like me who don't have the financials, don't have the time to go to multiple regionals, to go to all the international challenges or the international championships. This hurts them because every tournament you don't go to, that is people earning CP championship points that you're not, right? So say you're top 75 and you can't go to a regional. You can get knocked out of that top 75 mark and then you have to compete your way back up. And as the year goes on, that's going to get harder and harder because there's going to be less events. You're going to max out on your locals. You're going to max out on your league challenges, your league cups. You're going to max out on your global challenges. And so once you're maxed out on that stuff, which, I mean, it'd be hard to max out on global challenges, getting first in 3 of them. That would be very difficult. So there will always be global challenges, but like those are nothing in points when it compares to, you know, the international championships. International championship win is going to give you 750. Now, granted, one thing I forgot to mention is that in the, where is the point structure? Right here. In the point structure here for these championships, they're going to keep it where if you win a regional, your points really don't matter anymore, because if you win a regional, you get a Worlds invite. If you get top 4 and an international championship, your points don't matter. You get an invite. So I don't know. I would wonder that if you met your Worlds invite and say you were number 1, you were number 1 in the points, are they going to go 75 people under all the people that already qualified? Are they going to take like, oh, sorry, like, even though like there's 10 people that already earned their invite through like regional placings and international championship placings, you're 76, so you don't get an invite. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be like 75 people, the top 75 people that don't already have their invite. So the top 75 people that didn't win a regional or didn't place top 4 at an international. But like all of these points are going to matter. And you get 6 of these and you get all the international challenges. So say you go to all 3 international championships and you get top 128 every single time. That's 150 points times 3. That is 450. So that would be more points as someone who got top 32 in one of those and didn't go to the other 2. So the big problem with having this top placing is that the people who have more time, the people that have more money, the people who can go to more regionals and international championships have a better chance. Granted, they still have to perform. They still have to earn the points. Like I could go to every regional and every international challenge and play like dog water, you know, and not get any points. But if you're a serious competitor, you either have to win one of these or you have to go to every single one until you've maxed out on your points. And it's for the regionals, it is the top 6. So say you have like a bunch of top 32s and then one of them you have like a 60 point finish, like a top 256 finish. You can still go to another one, and if you get higher than top 256 and you earn 80 points, you're going to get those 20 extra points, right? So this encourages people to go to every single event. This is going to make it harder for those people who can only go to one in that area to register. So for someone like me, if I do want to go to Kentucky or if I do want to go to Baltimore, that's going to make it harder for me to sign up because the people who want to get in that top 75, they're going to be entering into every single tournament. A lot of people, unless you win one, a lot of people are going to have to sign up and try their best at every single regional that they possibly can make it. And at least 6. You have to go to at least 6. Because every time, like if you have an open space in your BFL, someone else is going to fill that space in their BFL, and they're going to get the points. Another thing that I want to say is that I think this is going to make the community get smaller. And not in the sense that like less people are going to play. I probably am never going to make worlds. I'm still going to play. I'm still going to go to locals. I'm still going to try to make it to a regional every now and then. I still want to be part of the community. But this is going to make it smaller in the sense of like people aren't going to be as open as letting people in their team builder group, as sharing rental codes, as sharing paste. You know, back how it was before Sword and Shield, right? Sword and Shield was great with the rental codes because it let anyone try a team out. It let anyone take a look at a team that someone made public and shared that code with. It made information more accessible, especially to those new or inexperienced players, or those players that might be lost in that certain metagame. And now you're not going to have that as much. If I built my own team and I got second place at a regional, I'm not giving that team away. I'm not giving those spreads away. I'm not going to tell you what those spreads do. And it hasn't been like that. It hasn't been like that for years. Like we've seen it more and more, which stinks for my channel, but we've seen more high-level VGC players start to make YouTube content, start posting things on Twitter, start doing coaching. And that's because now with the way that the points were, it was okay with sharing information because you were going against your own success. Like you were trying to hit a metric level for you, that 500 championship points. Now with top 75, everyone is competing against you. Everyone is against you. So if you aren't close with that person, if you don't trust them, you're not going to give them you're not going to share information with them. You're not going to share teams with them. You're not going to build with them. So I think a lot of groups are going to get a lot more tight knit, which is great for those groups. But then that also makes it harder for newer players to enter the scene. It makes it harder for newer players to learn. And that's what I think really hurts here. Is that this is going to discourage people from getting involved unless you have the money, the time to get involved, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people have been talking about how like they think regionals and stuff are going to get more toxic. And I kind of agree. There are going to be people that are like, hey, that person's ahead of me in the rankings. I want them to lose. And instead of wanting to see the best game of Pokemon, instead of wanting to see those competitors compete as well as they can and see a good match, you're going to have people go, oh, they're ahead of me. I want them to do bad. I want everyone ahead of me to do bad. I want to do good. Which you should want to do good anyway. But this is going to actively encourage hoping for other people's downfall. Right? I mean, it may not be like that openly, but it's going to be back here, you know? I don't know. I think it's a bummer. I think most of the changes are okay. Most of the changes would be fine if they didn't have this best finish limit, right? If they didn't have this top 75 players. Because of this, I think this makes the community a lot more closed off from letting new people in. And it makes it more closed off on information, because like that is a level of Pokemon when you play, is the information that you have, the information you have about your team, the information you have about your opponent's team, the information you have about the Pokemon that you're playing against in general, right? Information is a level of skill. It's something you need to play this game well. So I think with this, it makes it harder for people to want to help other people succeed, which is crap, because that is one thing that has been doing really well in the community is helping other people succeed. But now that person that you might help, that person that you might help breed them, help get mons for, that person that you might help like test, is your opponent. Not just for like the tournament that you're both at, but like for Worlds, they are your opponent. Every time someone beats you at a local, they're hurting you. Every time someone wins at a local and it's not you, that hurts you. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect me much at all, because I got 40 points, but there are a lot of people that probably made it, and it does hurt. Okay, so just a point of reference, 211 people in the US and Canada, the North American region, got the 500 points, made it a Worlds invite. Are they all going to go to Worlds? Are they all going to compete in Worlds? I don't know. But now, like 211. So 211 people made the 500 points. Now, all these people next year would not make it. All these people past the third page don't make it. And as I was clicking down the pages, like looking at the points, I'm seeing names that I recognize. I'm seeing names of people who I want to see be successful. And that stinks. That like these people next year are going to have a hard time. Matt plays locals with me. I've played against him in locals. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him win. It's going to be harder for everyone. And it's going to be based on how many events you can go to. I don't know. That's going to be all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Check out Reg A++ if you haven't already. But that's going to be all. All right. See ya.